Take it. Belongs to you.
You're damn right it belongs to me.
I knew I could count on you boys to play nice. That almost brings a tear to my eye.
Enjoy it. Spend it in good health. That is the last money you'll ever earn in this business.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Jesse, but our mutual associate was only using you to get to me.
What are you talking about?
In other words, he needs me.
You telling me you're cooking again?
Yeah. Let's see, how should I put this? I'm in. You're out.
Meanwhile.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel and thank you for clicking on the video. It's been a while since my last main upload, just been kind of taking a break, waiting for this update to come out. Lots have changed. I am now permanently on PC. If you're new, I'm now a partner as well. A number of things that came out with this update was actually gifted to me by DE. So, you know, shout out to them. So we got a lot of videos coming out soon. However, we are talking about Inaros today, and like you saw in that intro, Inaros' rework is extraordinary. In fact, I really think that it's much better than DE led on to that it was going to be. It is unbelievably powerful. That's why I was making fun of Revenant, because I truly believe Revenant mains will cease to exist once they actually test and start utilizing Inaros the way I have. He is a CC health tank god that just does not care. Tons of health regen, tons of damage reduction, status immunity, knockdown immunity, just everything you'd want and more. So we're going to talk about that. So as you can see, we're actually in the new Simulacrum. This came out with the Dante Unbound update. They increased overall enemy level by 25 across the board for everyone, regardless of MR. They even gave you new battle groups, which kind of gives you a more authentic take about like what you would honestly expect in, let's say, the Aroken or the Grenier or the Infested or Corpus or Murmur, whatever. So we actually are, I've always liked to test against the Aroken just because they're my preferred faction. So with Inaros, like you saw in the gameplay, he just has insane CC. We just activate our 4th ability and you'll just watch them get their armor stripped like crazy. And you also see how much damage it does too. I haven't damaged them at all yet. And it'll bring them down to the finisher threshold. Or, if you wait long enough, it'll actually kill some of them. Now, the duration of that armor strip or that DOT is scaled by duration. But we'll go ahead and respawn them. And you'll just kind of see how much CC he can really get. Like, what is an enemy supposed to do? Of course, their armor is already stripped, and by the time I let them go, they're dead. I haven't shot them at all. But if I were, just use a big AoE nuke ability. Do a nice finisher. And now you've got these little cats that also spread your 4th ability around to more targets, which helps mitigate, you know, how much range you really need to build on him, because Inaros is now actually stat hungry. You can't just get away with putting all these tank mods on him. You actually want to build him like a real frame now, which is really, really good. But as you can see, CC, CC, and CC. Now, of course, I'm just testing on paused enemies. What if we actually didn't pause them? Let's just let them go wild. Nothing they can do. Now, I only briefly want to talk about Inaros' kit changes. His passive quality of life change, you no longer have to do the big suck. You actually just melee enemies, and that allows you to revive yourself after 4 hits on the first death. It escalates the more times you die, but honestly, this rework and with this build, you shouldn't have that problem dying at all unless you're being extremely negligent. You've got tons of health regen and tons of CC, so enemies would pretty hard pressed to actually kill you. Desiccation has remained relatively unchanged. The only thing that's different is just quality of life again. His first 2 abilities are mainly quality of life. Now, I am utilizing Desiccation's Curse, and we'll talk about that when we get to the build. But Sandstorm is actually really, really good now. The quality of life is huge. They no longer go flying like you see in the GIF there. It actually just stays above your head, and then when you decast it, they will spawn at your feet, and then you can do ground finishers, which kind of feed into his whole kit with finishers, health regen, cat spawning, etc. Scarab Swarm is a pretty good ability. It gives you good armor, it does scale with strength, and it gives you status protection. So obviously, if you're just a health bar and you can't shield gate, you want to make sure you can't just get one shot or get, you know, dotted out. So make sure, you know, you have this up at all times for good armor and status immunity. And then Scarab Swarm. This is relatively new. It is a kind of a separation of his old 4th ability, and it allows you to just insanely CC enemies and armor strip them as long as you got the green shards. When you kill an enemy with this ability, it also will spawn sand cats, and they will also spread the Scarab Swarm debuff to other enemies. So it's very, very strong. Inaros actually does need stats now. He does need range, strength, and duration. You can kind of sack your efficiency a little bit, but it really depends on how heavy you want to spam his abilities, because you can really play either way. Now, Archon Shards, like I said, he does have a corrosive ability, so we do have 2 normal green shards, so you can get the full armor strip, kind of like you saw at the beginning in the Simulacrum. We do have a Tau Forge Amber Shard. Now, this isn't required. I just like to be extremely mobile, which is kind of how they want you to play Inaros now, thanks to his Tornado. So we've got a Tau Forged Parkour Velocity. We have 1 ability Strength shard, just so that we can be at 140 or more. And then the Violet Shard is just like pseudo equilibrium. With the build, it really isn't enough to you can't fit everything you really want with Inaros, because he is very, very mod heavy now. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Now, for the build, we are just running Physique just to increase his overall health. And then he doesn't need Prime Sure-Footed anymore. RIP Nightmare Frame mains. Unfortunately, he does not need it anymore thanks to his Scarab Shell. And you have Overextended for a good amount of range. Like I said, scales with range, and scales with range. So you do want a sizable amount of range on here, and we are sacking a little bit of strength. We still are over 100%, so we are utilizing 2 umbral mods as well, or excuse me, umbral formas. So the build is somewhat expensive, just kind of depends on what you've saved up and what you've bought from Tension in the last like month and a half since this rework was announced. So keep that in mind. It's not really 11 forma. This is just a frame that I've kind of tinkered with for years. So keep that in mind. It's more like probably like 4 or 5 with 2 umbrals. Decent duration. Now, health conversion is honestly a flex slot. You could actually add in like prime flow in here if you wanted to have more energy so that you can spam your abilities more. I'm just running it so that I have as much armor as possible. Armor, armor, armor. Now, of course, armor does have diminishing returns. Just kind of depends on how much damage you're taking. But I'm using it. It's something that you can really flex out. Now, we are also utilizing one of his augments, Desiccation's Curse. I think it's his new best augment. It used to be his worst. Now it's his best, in my opinion. Anytime you get a finisher with an enemy that's affected by your 1, will spawn a Swarm Cat guaranteed. And it increases the total amount from 3 to 5 now, which is very good, especially if you're trying to hold down a whole area with Inaros. And of course, we have Arcane Blessing. This is so that we have as much HP as possible. Now, this is honestly a flex slot. You don't need to run multi-augmented. I would probably recommend Arcane Grace. The only problem is I don't have a maxed Grace at all because I am terrible. So, so just if you want to use Arcane Grace, go ahead. But multi-augmented gives you 60% ability strength. So with this, you'd actually have 200% strength, which means your Scarab Swarm would actually be well over 500 armor additionally. So this is the build. Pretty cut and dry. If you want to switch out physique, you know, go ahead, but you really want to stack as much health as possible with Inaros. He has no form of shield gating, so any damage he takes is directly to his health bar. And without shields, you can get one shot. There's nothing you can really build to avoid that. Outside of like Last Grasp, I guess you can revive yourself, but you will get one shot against certain enemies. So you have to be, you know, diligent and watch your health bar. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, go, you know, get Inaros if you don't have him. Rank him up. Put your formas in him. He's well worth it. If you like to play health tank frames, do tons of damage. Take no damage really. CC. I mean, he's the perfect frame for you. If you've been playing Revenant for a long time and you're kind of getting bored of him, which you probably should be, go get Inaros. Go level him up. Try him out. Try this build. You'll thank yourself. It's very fun. He's engaging, unlike Revenant, in my opinion. So, but you know, that brings us to the end of the video. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed, please do so. I will be uploading 2 more videos before the end of the day. I will be reviewing the Stynax Deluxe skin and also Nidus's augment. So we've got a lot of videos coming out over the course of the next few weeks and even today. So I want to thank you again for clicking on the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.